This episode of a Hero's Journey podcast is brought to you by S&P Inc. right here in Las Vegas. JPS Computers out of Oregon. I want to thank Jesse. True Beauty by Trevor. That's my boy. I love his story. I got to have him on the show to explain what he's doing and why he's doing it. But he's changing everybody's confidence, which I love. And then West Coast Tattoo Parlor. I'm excited. I'm getting this arm all tattooed up, which I'm sure my latest guest has a bunch of tattoos. We'll get into that. But what's really cool, guys, is this is a Hero's Journey podcast, and I love having stories. I in the past few weeks, like I said, there's been some drama. I've kind of been derailed, but it's kind of worked out because there's clicks. So if you like, subscribe, all that stuff, please do. But at the end of the day, I love following the journey of people and their stories, and hopefully I can help inspire you and be inspired as I sit here. And so I've watched my latest guest for a while on social media. My buddy Travis, I say his name wrong every time, Cloyer. I can't even say it, but anyway, I'll get it right. This guy he's awesome, and he told me there's this voice, there's this guy, he's incredible. You got to see him. So I went out to see him, and I missed him every time. So I started following him on social media. And then the moment I got the chance to meet him in person, I said, you have to be on my show. Please, whenever you have a moment, come share and play a song. And that's what I love. I love having artists on the show. And if you're not aware, my newest producer, running the show is my boy Jory is back there. He's an artist as well. And so it's cool that I get that vibe and that energy in here. So my next guest for this week is Travis Cormier. Dude,
what's up,
thank
man?
you for being here.
Thank you. Dude.
Yes.
What a great intro.
No, I was really excited because we went to the 10-year anniversary of Monday's Dark, and you were up there performing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I turned to Nicole, my girl, and I said, that's the guy that we didn't get to see at Bad Out of Hell.
Yeah, you told you went like, what, 3, 4 times?
Yeah, exactly. I think we did 3
time.
times trying to catch you, and it was every time that you were not there.
Right.
So we got your not your understudy, but I think that's what it would be. Yeah, so we had your understudy each time, and even closing, it was like the second to last time that it was ever going to be the show.
Yeah.
We took her parents, hoping to get to see you.
Oh,
and
man.
I didn't get that, but guess what? You're going to play a song today on the show, and I get to see it in person.
Yeah.
And that's what I love.
For it today.
So, dude, tell everybody, where are you from?
Yeah, man, I'm from Moncton, New Brunswick, like far east coast of Canada. I don't know if you know where like Halifax, Nova Scotia is.
Oh, wow.
Like that,
okay, yeah.
That far east. Yeah, man, that's where I'm from. I lived in Montreal for about 6 years, right before I moved here. But yeah, man, I'm from like kind of a small town, really laid back and chill. People out there just like to have fun and party, and it's a really great place to grow up. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
but
man.
where did your love for music and the stage come from?
I mean, my love for music started like pretty early on. I remember as a kid, like 3, 4 years old, my mom was a huge country fan, which I'm named Travis because her like idol's Travis Tritt. She would listen to like Travis Tritt every single day. So, and Alan Jackson and Brooks and Dunn, and so I grew up listening to a lot of country from my mom's side, and my dad was a huge classic rock, like Bon Jovi, Bryan Adams, Aerosmith type of guy. So I just kind of grew up listening to a lot of music, and kind of a turning point for me. I still like, I remember that day like it was yesterday. Me and my brothers, I have 2 younger brothers, and we would often like go through my parents had like a closet with like just a lot of shit in it, like jewelry boxes and stuff. And as a kid, like we just go snoop around and see what we can find. And I remember we found this gray box, and we took that out and opened it, and it was just like a CD like box. And we started like taking out albums and just looking at like the covers and how cool it looked, and then we'd put it in the CD player. I remember just like, you know, looking at like Bat Out of Hell album and like, you know, Thunderstruck or Slippery When Wet, and we just started playing all these songs, and I remember like the impact that like the
Really?
first time I heard like Thunderstruck and stuff,
Right.
and I was just like, what the hell is this?
Exactly.
And it kind of all started from there. Then,
How old
like,
were you?
Must have been like maybe like 7, 8 years old,
Yeah.
maybe.
Kiss had that effect on me.
Yeah,
You know?
I definitely went down the whole Kiss thing.
Yeah.
The Kiss came for me a little bit later,
Right.
but
Wow.
I'm sure you know, like when you start getting in the Kiss world, it's like never ending.
Exactly. No, it's ongoing. It's Halloween every day.
Yeah.
You know, with that. And they were all just party songs, unless I remember Beth. This song Beth
dude.
was like
That's the first time you heard those
exactly.
songs. Yeah.
I remember the first time I heard Beth, and just I think we were camping and someone was playing it off a campsite.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what is that? And then I went, that's when I fell down the Kiss.
Yeah.
You know, it pulled me in with Beth, and then it was nothing like it was. Beth was the only song like that.
You go down that
Yeah.
rabbit hole, and it's
Yeah.
then you discover so many, and then you start collecting stuff.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole place is full of Elvis stuff, and I didn't buy any of it. It's all gifted to me, you know, and I have other boxes off the set, you know, just off to the side here that I can change out all the time. It's just super cool to have that. Elvis was like the king to me. And so, but I to be honest with you, I could probably only sing one Elvis song from top to bottom. I'm a fan, but it's kind of like taboo. I don't want to learn it. You know, I don't want to try and learn an Elvis song. But dude, so how did you get into, you're living in Canada, right?
Yeah.
What brought you into the States? How did you land? Because I saw you guys. I have Travis Cormier. And you came from the show Bat Out of Hell, which is a Meatloaf. It's all his songs, right? It's Meatloaf songs.
Yeah. So it's basically like the two Bat Out of Hell albums, Meatloaf songs with like kind of a story behind it. So kind of like how I got to there was it's pretty crazy. So I start playing music at a young age, you know, discovering those CDs. I started playing guitar. I got a guitar for Christmas. And then, like every kid, I started a cover band, played covers throughout all high school. And I was like, I took it very seriously. Like, you know, we would like organize our own shows by renting venues. We'd like pay for security and stuff, sell tickets. And I would like do all that at like 14 years old and
Wow.
like, rent, you know, like sound guy, whole lighting system and all that. And like, we'd make sure that we come to like we would lose money at some shows, some would make money. And when I graduated high school, I kind of realized that I was the only one in the band that really like took it that seriously. The other guys were, you know, what are we gonna do after high school? And I was like, no, I'm doing this. So I moved to Hollywood. I studied music at Musicians Institute
In Hollywood, right? In downtown Hollywood.
Yeah. So I did that I studied there for a year and a half. And then just started gigging and meeting people and doing the whole kind of Sunset Strip thing. And it
What
was
year
cool.
was that?
So I moved there when I was 18. So it must have been like 2010.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was still there then. I was still in Hollywood. Yeah.
We might
But that
have
scene,
bumped
yeah, because the scene started to change in Hollywood. It's like, you know, House of Blues goes away. Key Club, you know, shuts down. It's not doing Steel Panther anymore when Steel Panther moved over to, you know, the House of Blues.
When I was there, they were still doing the House of Blues thing on every Monday night.
Yeah.
But it did change quite a bit.
It did.
Yeah.
I was the first Monday of every month with Steel Panther.
Oh, yeah.
They were the guys who discovered me. So the first Monday of every month, Paperback Hero, my band, would play with them. And if they had a special event or they needed to impress like movie people, you know, magazine people, whatever, I was the band.
So wait, you would play on Monday nights?
On Monday nights, I would be the band right before them,
dude,
the first Monday of every month. Yeah, big old mohawk and sideburns. That was me.
Dude.
And Ralph, Michael Starr,
Yeah.
was the guy who discovered me. He's the guy who said, you should come open up for me. And I said, sure. And then I'm like, who are you? I had no clue.
That's cool.
He took me on that journey and became my workout partner. We actually started, I got him his producer.
Wow.
Like my producer
He's a
became
great
his
dude.
producer. He's awesome.
Yeah.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was just wondering, we had to run in the same circles and
Yeah, I mean, I
whatnot.
definitely saw that show
Yeah.
for sure. But
Yeah.
at that time too, like I was pretty young. I was, I was there, but not really much like, like in the scene. I was
Right.
kind of
trying to get into
trying
it.
to get into
Yeah.
it, but still kind of finding myself, because it was a big move for me to move from my like small hometown to like fucking
Hollywood.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it was definitely like a big kind of.
But you did the right move. You went to MIT.
Yeah, that
Or
was cool.
MI, I mean, music institution.
Yeah,
So
I
that was my
definitely
move.
like learned a lot, but also like just learned a lot about like life, just kind of
Yeah.
just getting out of my parents' house, and
Yep.
getting my own place and doing that whole thing. So it was cool, and basically what happened, like after school, they give you like kind of a short-term work visa, and then after that, you're like, once that expires, it's kind of like you got to move back.
Really?
Yeah. So I moved back to Canada, and it kind of happened like suddenly, where they were like, dude, like your visa's expiring, and I was kind of like, wasn't really planning on moving back.
Right.
But again, I was kind of like, didn't really know how that stuff worked. So I moved back, and I kind of like fell in kind of like a depression, a pretty like, because now I'm back in Canada, where like in winter when it's cold,
Yeah.
and like opportunity is definitely less there than Los Angeles, and I felt like I had like worked a couple of years out there to like finally build something and network and get new friends, and I met a girl there, and we lived together and all that, and then like to get that all kind of taken away and start over, and then people will be like, it's okay, man, like you tried it.
It's
tried
not.
it, and
It's not a try thing when it's who you are.
that hurt me
Exactly.
at that time. It could have been like just like my ego been to be like, oh, now I'm back home, whatever. But like it did. I felt kind of like, oh man, like did I go there and fail? Could I have done more? And all that. And so I was definitely in kind of a dark place for a while. Music, I couldn't make money enough to like sustain my music, so I started working. I had 2 jobs. I worked selling TVs at Best Buy during the day and working at the airport during nighttime. So I would work like 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. shifts at night. And I was just trying to save money to record an album. I was like,
There you go.
I'm going to like save up money, get a producer, record an album, and if something happens, then I'll get out of this small town, and like here we go again.
And no hate on your small town, but it's not for you. That's all.
No, like
Yeah.
people there, it's great. It's a lot of fun, but if you want more, it's especially like music, you definitely got to get out of there. And
Yeah.
I kind of saw that at an early age. So
Did you raise that money to do
you
it?
know what? I was close. I had started the album. I had started. We recorded 2 tracks. And then I got a call to do The Voice, which was in Montreal, The Voice in Canada.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Like, why not? I have nothing to lose right now. It could be good. So I go to Montreal. I do the blind audition. They filmed this like 6 months in advance or whatever. So I go up there. I sing Dream On, which was really like, I was like, what's the song that I am more comfortable with that I sang so many times?
Right.
And Dream On's a song that I sang in front of like nobody at a bunch of bars where they wouldn't even listen, and I would just be there singing on my own. And I do that and go back home, and then I keep working my jobs and like doing my, and telling people at the airport night shifts, like, yeah, I did this thing, The Voice. We'll see what happens. And one night I'm in my hotel room in Montreal because I had to go back to film like the next rounds or whatever. And the blind audition goes on TV. I was like the first one to pass on television.
Really?
They like organized it that way. And it just blew up. Like the first day we had like over 10 million views on YouTube. It got taken down right away because of some kind of copyright
issues, right?
But,
wow.
Yeah, it blew up, and then my life kind of changed from there. I moved to Montreal. I started touring. I recorded an album that I did with Bob Rock, which I'm sure you know.
Bro, yeah.
Yeah. I did
Wow.
that. So everything just like
Bob Rock was
kind of overnight.
Bob Rock the producer or
Producer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it happened like kind of everything just changed and happened so fast. And
Good for you.
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's the art of discovery. That's what I love about this.
Yeah.
I had no clue. So is it still out there or they pulled it down, you say?
The video, it's up there. I was able to, I think I put it up like a year ago, which was, years later I was able to, because I was invited to sing a song with Steven Tyler in Niagara Falls. We did, I met him like backstage. We chatted for a while. I sang a bit of Don't Want to Miss a Thing with him and stuff. And I talked to him. I was like, man, it sucks because I did Dream On the show and they took it down because of copyright and whatever. And he's like, what?
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
It's a label thing. Trust me. It's not him. He wants that out there. He wants people, that drives people to go, download the actual version as well.
Right. But somehow I was able to, after that, I put it up again and they haven't taken it down.
That's awesome.
So you can see it on YouTube.
There you go. So what came next? Like what followed that?
Well, after that, I signed a record deal, went to Vancouver, BC to start tracking the album. It was just a super cool experience because my dream producer I wanted to work with was Bob Rock. Like the label basically told me, they tried to impose a couple producers on me and we started working and I was like, dude, this is not it. This is not it. And I would call my manager and be like, look, I know we already started and we're like 5 songs in, but this is not me. And she would be like, are you serious, man? Like now the label's going to have to pay for this. We're losing money. We're already in the hole because you keep changing. And they kind of got frustrated and they were like, look, what do you want? Who do you want to work with? And I'm like, if I make you a list of like 10 producers, if you can get me one of those guys, I'll be happy. So I like really thought about it. And the number one guy that I was like, I didn't even think that would be possible. I mean, the guy, recorded all the biggest rock albums. So put it on there. And my manager calls me a couple weeks later and she's like, so we reached out to all of them and we'll see what happens. So one morning, like 5:30 a.m., I get a call, wakes me up. I'm like, hello. He's like, well, hello, this is Bob Rock. And I'm like,
I'm awake.
Yeah, I'm trying to wake up. And he was really cool. He didn't accept to work with me for like a while. He was just like, look, I heard you're interested in all that. We need to get to know each other. I need to see like where you're at. I would like send him stuff and he'd be like, okay, like go back, rewrite rewrite this, do this. And after a while he was like, all right, man, like let's do this. I'll fly you out to Vancouver. Then he was like, is it cool if I get, he got Keith Scott, Bryan Adams guitarist to play on it. And like, all these like, John Webster to play keys. And I was like, yeah, that's
yeah.
Cool. He's like, I have a
world-class
buddy,
guys. Let's go. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I have a buddy we can write songs with. And, you got to fly out to LA. But he's like, I don't know if you know him, Richie Sambora. And I was like, I was like, what?
You got to write with Richie?
I got to write with Richie. We got to co-write songs on the album. And it's just like the whole thing for me as like a kid growing up listening to all that stuff was just surreal.
How cool.
Like, it was amazing.
So I want to get to that, but the question is, how'd you do on the show, on The Voice?
Oh yeah, well basically I was runner up, so I ended up like second place by 1%.
Wow.
Which like actually was a
probably paid off.
Blessing.
Yeah, you didn't have to take the deal that they gave you.
I like negotiated my own deal, and also in Quebec. The winner automatically is signed, but also has to record a French album, and I wasn't into that. So I was like really hoping the whole time. I was like, I hope I make it to the end, to the final, and then lose.
Yeah, there you go.
And when they announced, like,
so by losing, you won.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So then what came? I mean, because That's a dream. And my connection too, which is kind of wild. One of my best friends are like guys I came up with, and I just saw him at NAMM last week. He's playing on one of my songs right now is Phil X.
Yeah.
And Phil is from Canada.
Yeah.
And he took over for Richie and Bon Jovi for like the last, I don't know, 8 or 9, 10 years, whatever it's been now.
Right.
But just kind of like, dude, I mean, come on, Richie Sambora, you got to sit down and write songs with him.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. He's a great dude.
That's
Great
awesome.
dude.
That is incredible.
Yeah. And it was weird because like it was casual because like they made me feel really comfortable because they're just like great dudes. But like I did have moments where I would just kind of like look at the whole thing and be like, man, I remember this kid in my bedroom like playing those songs, you know, and like idolizing those guys, and now I get to casually work with them and call them like friends, and it's just like it's so cool how life and the how everything kind of works out.
What do you think about? There's that moment, and we're all artists in this room.
Yeah,
where you were in a depression. You said because
dude,
your whole world got
intense.
your world got pulled out from underneath you.
Mm-hmm.
And a phone call, literally a phone call changed your life. You said yes to something.
Yeah.
And I got nothing to lose. I'm going to go do this. And then went on to doing your jobs and working. You didn't sit at home being depressed and not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
You changed your path. You actually said, I have a goal here. I'm going to save money and I'm going to do a record. Yeah. And I'm going to do this because the best way to go after something and combat something is to take action.
Definitely,
like saying yes and taking action. So you had a game plan. Your game plan was derailed by something bigger and better.
Dude, and it always seems to happen that way. And like, you know, you're an artist, I'm sure you know too, like after a while, like you start kind of like appreciating, you see the patterns and you start appreciating the lows.
Yes.
Because you know that, you know, you're like, okay, this sucks, but it's preparing me for the next thing because this has been happening over and over again. And like now when I have a big low, I'm like, it's okay. This is time for me to work on myself, to realign my path, because the next thing it's there, it's coming. And because that, like the whole, depression thing, waiting for a call, and then the call, I wasn't even waiting. It just kind of came. That happened over and over again in my life later. And it seems to always happen at those times where I'm just like, oh man, what do I do? And I'm kind of,
Dude, we're in an industry where you have to navigate the peaks and valleys. Mm-hmm. When you're on top, on top isn't going to stay for a long time.
Right.
It's either that or it's like I compare it to I don't surf, but catching a wave. You have to battle your ass out through the waves to sit out there and catch a wave and then ride that wave as far as you can in. You get tossed sometimes, you ride it all the way into the beach.
Yep.
But then you're like, you're exhausted. That was fun, but now I got to go do this again. I'm chasing this new high. Right. And that's the way I equate this and have this podcast because it came out of nowhere. Yeah. Kind of thing. It's the same thing, and it's how we kind of, I don't know, we prepare ourselves for the downloads. Yeah. Those moments where, this may be a tough time, but all of a sudden out of that comes a song. Right. Out of that comes how I'm going to navigate this next move. So you did the album with all these people. So did you get the chance to put it out and get to?
Yeah. So I go there, I do the album, and then, I'm sure, as you know or have experienced, the whole business side of things just, you try to focus on the creativity and the fact that this is a great experience, but then you have all the other political business stuff going on the sidelines that you have no control over. So basically there's a lot of shit going on with my label, and it was a lot of things, politics, stuff that I have no control or anything over. So the album basically took a very long time to come out. It took, I think, 2 or almost 3 years
Isn't that crazy?
from the time we started to the time it came out. So it was a frustrating time, because when you're in your creative, and you write things like you're in that space and you write about what's going on right now in your life and you're excited about it and you want to tell the world about it, that excitement after 2-3 years, though, you're not there anymore.
No, you've grown.
You wrote different songs, you have different things going on. So now to be like, hey guys, here's an album that I'm excited about and proud of. It was really hard for me to have that excitement, because I was like, man, I recorded this years ago, and
you were on the
anymore.
show. You don't have the juice
Right.
of the show. They probably in 3 years have had at least 5 more episodes come out.
Yeah.
Because they crank them out, and so
Yeah.
you're the guy who was runner up on season whatever it was,
Right.
And yeah, so it's
Yeah.
the business side ruins things. It really does.
Yeah, I mean, I don't regret it at all, because like I said, I got to learn a lot from that. I got the album out of it, and I got to tour a lot too. Like during those years, because of the show, I grew a big fan base. I was able to tour and play a lot and just grow as an artist. So that was cool.
Awesome.
But after the album came out, I got out of my record deal and decided to just do it on my own, and release the next album that I produced and funded and all that on my own.
Amazing.
And that was.
Did you do that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So who produced it? You did, or
I co-produced it with my guitarist.
Okay.
We did it in my home studio. He brought his gear, and we spent just days in my home studio, and it was really nice, because as much fun as the whole Bob Rock experience was, it was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
It was in this big warehouse studio where he flew in these musicians, and they're there paid by the hour or the day in the studio, and there's just a lot of money involved. And every day I show up and they look at me and they're like, all right, Travis, like, what are we doing today? And I can't be like, I don't know, I have writer's block right now. All those people are just sitting there waiting for me to kind of get the thing going, and like, they were really cool, and maybe I was putting more pressure on myself than I should have, but I did feel a lot of pressure that I didn't feel in my home studio with my guitarist. That's also my best friend, and we were able to do it in a very chill way. We'd have drinks, have beer, Jack Cokes, and talk and write and record. And if we didn't like something, we'd go back and re-record it. And there was no time limit.
No, there's no dollar sign just flashing.
No dollar sign.
Exactly. No, I get that, and
I like that better.
It's a tough place to be, to have to sit and write with people around you, especially you're in this situation, world class players, producer, all that stuff, and that is a lot of pressure to even a seasoned professional. Even if you turned it on them, I'm sure they couldn't have pulled it off.
Yeah,
it's just one of those things. And if they did, it's one of those situations where people who go to work and just sit and write songs, you can tell for the most part, this is just a stamp for the day.
Right.
You're just putting out things because that's what you have to for the day.
Yeah.
When you get a true download, when you get a real song that comes to you and you're like, oh, this is special. Because you get the ones where you're like,
magical,
this
man.
is moment right now. Cool. I never need to go back to that, but I just got that out.
Yeah.
Then and another one. Well, that's all right. That had elements.
Yeah.
But I'll take from that and that because it was supposed to be this.
Right.
And you sit down and you actually write something that you just, you want to share. You're excited. Like you were talking about. You want everyone to know what's going on. There's a story behind it.
Yeah.
You know, that's.
And they get to follow your journey as,
Yeah.
in real time. I mean, if you wait forever,
Yeah.
Sometimes I go through like my voice memos on my phone.
Me too.
And sometimes it kind of like, I'm like, it's a shame that I don't release more music because I'm like, like this only lives in my phone. Like I recorded this like 2 years ago and it was such a good idea, but I never put it out. Like I should have just put it out there.
Exactly.
Like,
it is such a tough space to be in because we have the ability to put things out like that if we want to.
Yeah.
But then you want to save it for these really special like I get an opportunity to go in the studio or caught something here,
Right.
or like
or
this.
You're perfectionist and you're like,
exactly. No, it's got to be this, right?
Yeah.
Right. No, like I'm in that situation where I wrote the song, I put it on the internet, and then my buddy was like, my buddy Patrick, he was a Kacha. He was like, dude, you got to record that song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, oh, Ben's so busy. My guitar player, he's so busy. He's off doing the corporate cover band thing. And he's got no time to record new music. We've got a stack of songs we can't get to. And then I'm like, hey, Phil, what would it take? And he goes, send me the song. I'll let you know. Like an hour later, he's like, I'll play on it. Got you. Yeah. And I'm like, whoa. So this is fun little spot because it's the newest thing to get to do it. And I want to put it out and shoot a video and just take that approach.
Yeah.
Why wait?
You're like, do it now. And
do
then,
it now.
And then move
I'm excited
on.
about it. So I can move on.
Right.
Exactly. So I'm taking my own advice.
That's cool.
And doing that right now. Like instead of waiting, because that could be a year and a half, and then I won't care about it anymore.
Right.
I won't feel the same maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I get that. So so how did you get to doing this this whole thing, like because I want to get to that, and also I want you to perform on this show, which is so cool. So, and thank you for being here, man.
Dude, it's my pleasure, man.
Travis Cormier is with me right now on a Hero's Journey podcast. So this is so cool, so I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, so this whole journey has just been wild. So after the whole album and all that and touring out there, COVID hit. And that, like I was telling you, the whole like lows and so then like
we were all in that same low.
Dude, and like no shows, no touring, no nothing, and then it's back to like just what do I do now?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm back in kind of like one of those like low times in my life where I'm like, man, what's going on? What do I do? And money's not coming in for like a year. Because no shows or whatever. So I'm starting to be like, man, I can't just keep not working, not doing anything. So I remember having a meeting. So I'm looking at like jobs, like shit like that I can do but I was like, what else do I do? I mean, I've been doing music for a while now. I don't see myself
Where are you living?
any other job. I was living in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah. And I started thinking about going back to the US. Like it was like a thought that I like, because I had been in Montreal in the whole like Quebec thing for a while, playing my shows, but after a while I felt like it was like, okay, now I'm not getting to the next step, to the next level. I have my fan base here, I'm playing these shows here, but I need something more. I want something more. And so I started talking to my manager about it. I'm like, dude, like, I wish I could just like go back to the U.S., but it's, it's not that simple for a Canadian to just move there and start a life there and whatever. And, I'm a big believer in like manifestation and all that.
Yep.
And it's just the craziest thing, because as I'm like starting to think about that and starting to talk to my manager and my friends about it, and I get a DM on Instagram from a friend so it's a friend of a friend that I used to live with in LA, and he had crashed at our house for like I think 2 nights. He was an actor. Okay. And it was it was my 21st birthday that weekend that he crashed at our place. So I was partying, like it was my 21st birthday in the US in LA, and I like, so I'm like, dude, I'm partying in the apartment. And he's trying to sleep because he had a acting gig the next morning. So I'm like wasted, and we had a pet snake named Motley. And I took the snake and put it in his bed.
Oh, no.
While he was sleeping. And he woke up so mad. We didn't really know each other. He was trying to sleep for his gig. I was just living my best life, 21st birthday. And we kind of like, got into kind of an argument and whatever. And it kind of like I didn't talk to that guy really after. I mean, he was a great dude, but we just didn't talk or anything for years. So I'm in Montreal during COVID. I'm like, what do I do? I start talking about, going back to the US. I get a DM from this dude. He's like, hey man, I'm working on a movie with this woman, and she's looking for a role for a musical in Vegas. Would you be interested? And when I saw musical, I was like, nah.
right.
Because I wasn't a musical
Right.
theater guy. And then he's like, well, you should check it out. It's Bat Out of Hell. And I'm like, Bat Out of Hell, damn, that's cool. So I look it up and I see what this thing is. And I see like the motorcycle, the pyro, the fire. I'm like, yeah, I could definitely get behind this. So I give him my contact, and it like, everything happened so fast. Like, the casting director called me the next day. She was like, hey, I'm sending you the script and all that tonight. Can you have a FaceTime audition tomorrow morning? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I learned all the scripts. Now, I've never done like acting or musical theater, so I had to like learn the lines, learn the role and all that. But it was a lead role that this you saw the show, like this kid that's kind of like Peter Pan, never grows up, and,
Right.
like I could definitely relate to a lot of the things that I could really embody the role. So I spent all night drinking coffee, Red Bull, learning these things, and in the morning I do a Zoom audition in front of like a big conference room full of like producers boardroom, yeah. And I do the audition, and they basically made me the offer the same day, and we're like, if you accept and sign the contract, you're moving to Vegas in 2 weeks, and we're starting rehearsal.
Dude.
So I was like, I don't know how I can't say no to this thing.
Right.
I mean,
Again, it's a yes situation.
It was definitely a hard move. I had, because now I have a life in Montreal. I have a place. Like, I had to completely relocate my whole, life. It was another big change. But when those things come, man, you gotta hop on the train. You gotta take it.
Exactly. So how long did the show run? Because I've been to it. It was really cool. I just missed you all 3 times I was there.
Yeah. It was a great show, man. It ran, we started in September. It ran about only 3 months.
That was it?
Yeah, it was supposed to run for a year.
Okay.
When
it was coming out of COVID, and it was like a weird time though when the show like came out, and so
again, business, the show was amazing.
It was
amazing,
awesome.
But sometimes just other aspects of the side of the business, and it's okay, I'm not mad about it. They took a chance on a show. They believed in it. We believed in it. And sometimes just things doesn't align the way, and it's fine. I mean, I got to do it.
Yeah.
And prove to myself that I could, because at rehearsal, I was like, I can't do this.
Really?
Yeah. The director took me aside because I wasn't having a good time during rehearsal, because it was overwhelming. Like, I had never acted, I never danced, never done any of that, and I just felt like I wasn't following. Everyone was just so much more advanced than I was, and I didn't feel like I had my place there. And I told the director, like, I was like almost like cry. I was like, dude, I can't do this, man. I don't know why I accepted this. And he was like, dude, we got you for a reason. You're the guy. We know you're the guy. Like, we looked everywhere. We literally did auditions in LA, New York. We got you from Canada. You're the guy. You can do it.
Wow.
And I just kind of stuck with it, and then got a lot of help from my cast and teammates, and they were just really great. But it was like I proved to myself that I could do it, and now I'm like, that's so cool, because there's probably other things that I'm like, I can't do that, but
yeah, that you can.
You
now,
definitely can. Yeah.
I knew Travis. How do I say his last name?
Travis Clore.
Clore. Okay,
yeah.
Clore, and he's a monster on stage.
Dude.
That guy, I watched him in Jersey. Is it Jersey Boys?
Yeah.
I went and saw Jersey Boys at least 3 times.
Yeah.
And he was the lead in Jersey Boys, and so he was the reason why I went to go see, his show the first time. And then he's like, hey, you got to come back. You got to see Travis Cormier play the lead. He's like, he just bragged about you. He's like, this guy just beams, leader. For real. He's like, in his voice, he's got pipes. And he was just, he was the guy who just told me, you got to come see it. So I kept trying.
Yeah.
And then he's like, yeah, that's a good night. And then he was like, right as I'm walking in, he's not here tonight. I'm like, son of a bitch. Like, I'm coming to see the show to see you.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, I love Travis, man.
Yeah.
He's been just such a great dude and super supportive.
Yeah.
Like, it's people like that you need in this city, you know.
for real.
That's been really helpful. And, you know, I didn't go back after the show. I decided to stay here.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm still here in Vegas. But it's because, like, people like that just make you feel like,
That's perfect.
You're not alone, and they kind of take you in and show you around, you know.
Well, you got
really
one more
great.
in me, too. So you have somebody you can count on. Seriously.
Yeah.
If there's anything you need, you can ask me. If I can help you, I will. Because I know what it's like to be far away from home.
Yeah.
You know, when I moved to Hollywood, I drove down in my car, parked in the North Hollywood Gold's Gym parking lot, and woke up pulled in at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Woke up, bought a 1-year membership, and I showered there, lived there in the parking lot.
No way.
And got a job at Jerry's Deli. I was like, Where'd
you drive from? Where are you from?
I'm from Oregon. I'm from Pacific Northwest, from Salem, Oregon. And I found myself acting. I wasn't an actor.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I'm walking in delivering mail or picking up mail for my friend and an agent, Natalie Rawson. She goes, "You're not a client." And next thing you know, I'm auditioning, and then I was a client. And I was, you know, so I found myself as an actor. I had to use a payphone outside Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
She told me to you know, like, look, you got to get an answer machine, something. You got to do something, figure it out. But my first callbacks, I'm waiting by the phone, and it rang, and I'm like standing outside going, yeah, what do I need to be? You know, so just outside of Gold's. But anyway, so I know what it's like, and I know what it's like to be, you know, where it kind of feels like you're alone, but you're not.
Yeah.
And you're surrounded by people like-minded, like yourself. But you're doing Rock Vault now. Is that what I see? Is it?
Yeah. So after the show closed Bad Out of Hell closed in January, I started with the Rock Vault guys in April. So I've been doing that since April last year, and that's been really cool. It's a fun show. It's you know, I get to sing all my favorite songs. The other guys are great. You know, I get to share the stage with, you know,
that's amazing.
Laws Elias, Slaughter, and Todd that's out with Slash, and they're just great dudes, great friends that are, you know, that have been really, really helpful. And
awesome.
You know, Todd's Canadian too, so you know, he all like I think when was it? July 1st Canada Day, he had like friends doing this big Canada party. It's like just all Canadians from Vegas.
Oh, cool.
And had like a big party, and you know, and he brought me and introduced me to all these people and musicians, and you know, it's people like that are really great friends to have here.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So,
but we're doing that it's at the Hard Rock Cafe now.
Okay.
On it's mostly Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays, Hard Rock Cafe, which is on the Strip,
it's
right?
On the Strip,
right across from that Park MGM like entrance area.
Yeah.
And that's Rock Vault. And you guys describe what kind of show that is.
Yeah, so it's basically like we go through the transition of rock and roll from like beginning 70s to late 80s, like kind of in order. So, you know, we start with like the Hendrix and so go to Zeppelin and into Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. And so,
cool.
And there's like kind of short videos between songs that kind of explains like the transition, you know, this year Woodstock or this year this happened. And
how cool.
So it's it's a really fun show. It's definitely, you know, very energetic. People party because it's just all the classic songs everyone knows, you know, like Hotel California and stuff. But the musicians are phenomenal, so it's just really great.
It just made me think of it. Sorry to cut you off because it was Jason Bistain, hopefully I'm saying his name right. Jason, I know him as Jason. I'm booked to do shows in Illinois because of him in April with Elvis Monroe. And he went to your show, and he was a guy just maybe a few weeks back or whatever, one night. It was a signed guitar, and he was the guy who bought the guitar that night, and he met you. And he's like, dude, you're having him on your show. Tell him I said thank you, you know. And
cool.
And you were there signing the guitar for him. So that was really cool for a guy from Illinois. Plus,
that's awesome.
I think he was there because he works with Mark Slaughter and the boys.
Okay.
He works with them now. So he got
Cool.
into that whole side of things.
Yeah.
Working with Slaughter.
Right,
And
right.
Travis Clore just messaged me right now. This isn't live, but I sent him
Shout
a
out to
video.
Travis Clore.
Yeah, I just he said, "Yeah, man." So because I sent him a video of you sound checking that song.
Oh, cool.
So I want to
cool.
make sure that we are just plugging everything that you're doing right now before we get to your song.
Yeah.
So you're recording new music right now, or
Yeah, so right now I'm writing and recording some new stuff. So I'll be releasing new music this year.
is it just under your name?
Under my
not
name.
a band thing. So
Yeah.
okay, Travis Cormier.
Yeah.
All right, and your socials, like we didn't get that, did we? To put underneath him, I'm gonna have to make sure. Okay, we'll do that in post, so that
Yeah.
this comes up underneath your.
Yeah, so basically under my name, Spotify, Apple Music, TravisCormierOfficial.com. I'll be posting new music this year. I've been writing a lot, working with a lot of people, a lot of different producers, and trying to figure out what direction I'm going towards. My last EP is kind of more country
Really?
rock. I really wanted to bring in those influences into what I do too. So that was kind of cool.
It's your mom's side.
Yeah, my
and
mom.
You got your dad's side.
Right?
That was me,
Trying
man.
to blend that together.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, doing that, and then raiding the Rock Vault at the Hard Rock Cafe, and we'll see, where things go from here, man. You never
That's-
really know. I'm just kind of going through the motions, and
I love that. I
Yeah.
absolutely love that because, a hero's journey is you step into the unknown.
yeah,
And in this conversation, you talked about that several
Exciting.
times where you didn't know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to find people who are going to mentor us
Yeah.
in those, when we get into those spaces, and like the director saying, we got you, like, you're our guy.
Yeah.
Believe that you're our guy. And you started gravitating to the people who this is their space.
right.
You're a lead singer, songwriter, you're a front man, but now you're having to dance and act and do all this stuff. That's new.
Mm-hmm.
And so I applaud you for stepping
Thanks,
into
man.
the unknown for sure and pushing yourself.
Yeah,
Because, I always say, I live where I'm comfortable. But right now, this year, my whole thing was I'm going to try and push myself to be comfortable in the uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
where I'm not. I got to be comfortable with being uncomfortable right now,
Right.
and push myself a little bit harder and try things,
Yeah.
like that. Like,
and
I
the more
told
you do it, the
Yeah.
more you trust yourself in the process. Like,
Exactly.
yeah.
Exactly. So
cool,
talk
man.
about, I want you to talk about this song that you're going to play. So tell me, set up this song, and then we'll perform this song.
Actually, I haven't really figured out what I'm gonna play.
Oh.
But, I could.
You can play a couple if you like. That would be
yeah.
amazing. So we'll
Yeah,
talk
well-
us through one, and then you can talk us through the next one.
Yeah, so I'll start with one that's kind of country rock, like
Okay.
I guess a little bit more towards the country side of things. It's a song called it's called "She's Gonna Be a Song." Actually,
Really?
it's about it's a song I wrote with Luke Sheets, a writer out of Nashville that I've been writing a lot with, and Ken Press from Montreal, and it just kind of. I started writing with them a couple of years ago, and that was the first song we wrote together, and it just started with that title, like "She's Gonna Be a Song," and I was like, maybe there's something to do with that, and we wrote this, and it was my first more country single that came out.
Okay.
After my rock album.
So this is you already put this song
I
out?
put this out. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
had a quarter.
Oh, it's all good.
So sorry, dude.
No, don't worry about it. No.
I normally have
Thanks
one.
for checking, though.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so
All right.
once we get here, we go. When you're ready, you let us know.
All right. So yeah, this is called "She's Gonna Be a Song." Two sips in, I already forget my name. Already drunk, I ain't even finished the drink. She's got this little thing about her, this magic little can of water. Best thing about her, she don't even know it yet. She's gonna be a song, and every little thing about her makes you wanna sing along. And that look in her eyes gets me every time, and I can't even tell you what she does to me. Got her running through my head like a melody. She's my radio on all night long. She's gonna be a song. Somebody's gonna write something about 1,000 stars. I bet there'll be a line about her and some broken hearts. And she's got 'em going crazy. Wishes he could call her baby. Yeah, pretty good, 'cause that's what she's doing to me. Yeah, gonna be a song. Every little thing about her makes you wanna sing along. And that look in her eyes gets me every time, and can't even tell you what she does to me. Got her running through my head like a melody. Yeah, she's my radio on all night long. She's gonna be a song. She's gonna be a song. She's got this little thing about her, this magic little cannibal one. She's gonna be a song, and every little thing about her makes you wanna sing along. That look in her eyes gets me every time, and I can't even tell you what she does to me. Got her running through my head like a melody. Yeah, she's my radio on all night long. She's gonna be a song. It's gonna be a song, a song. It's gonna be a song, a song. Yeah, it's gonna be. She's gonna be. She's gonna be a song.
Woo! Bro, that
Thank
was
you, guys.
fire. Bro,
brother.
dude, that was awesome.
Thanks, man.
That was awesome. Jory, wasn't that fire, dude?
Song.
Incredible.
Bro, dude,
Thanks,
that
brother.
was amazing.
Thanks, man.
Amazing. So that song's out right now.
That song is out, yeah.
So we can find it on Spotify, iTunes, all that stuff. I'm downloading that like immediately, dude.
Thanks, dude.
Immediately. Dude, it's on my playlist today. I swear.
Hell yeah.
Swear. What a great concept for a song.
Thanks,
What a
man.
great, seriously, like you hit all the notes, like meaning all the chorus. I wanted to sing along with you already. By the time you hit chorus number 2,
That's the goal.
I was ready to go, dude. I was like, That was awesome.
Thank you.
Dude, how cool. Great job. You know what? Because what I love about this show, too, is I love having artists on. I love getting to share these moments. It's kind of like, it's a combination between when you're doing a radio push, you're out, you're doing shows, you got to go in and do radio.
Yeah.
It's the toughest thing to sing early in the morning. Holy crap, on the morning shows.
Yeah.
But, this is a chance to, it's a combination of having that, like at radio, sitting down and playing some songs. So you want to set up another one? You got to talk into that mic a little bit, but this next one, what song do you want to do another one? Can you do another one?
You wanted me to play, I could play another one off that album, or I could also play a cover that I grew up on. There's a lot of cool songs that I grew up on.
Yeah, whatever. What do you want to hear? what would you like? This is an opportunity to share with people out there who you are. So
cool. Well then, this song, I'll play cover because this is the first song I learned to play on guitar and sing, and every time I play it, I get a really nostalgic feeling, because it really brings me back to the roots of like who I am, because I would play this song at campfires with my friends, like on the beach when I was like just a kid, teenager, and every time I get with my friends, they would want me to play this song, and now every time it just kind of like brings me back, and it's Simple Man by Leonard Skinner.
Let's go. I love it.
Love that song. So
let's do
I'll
it.
do that.
Let's do it. Travis Cormier, everybody. You can go to download his music on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Travis Cormier Official.
Mama told me when I was young, she sit beside me, my only son, and listen closely to what I say, and if you do this, it'll help you some sunny day. Oh, take your time, don't live too fast. Troubles will come and they will pass. You'll find a woman, oh baby, you'll find love. Don't forget that there is a someone up above, and be the simple kind of man, and be something you love and understand. Baby, be a simple kind of man. Won't you do this for my son, if you can? Oh boy, don't worry, you'll find yourself. Follow your heart and nothing else, and you can do this, oh baby, if you try. And all I want for you, my son, is to be satisfied and be a simple kind of man. Woo!
Nice job,
Thank you.
dude. That was awesome. That was
Thank you,
awesome.
man.
Yeah. Yeah, here, pull this one up. How, dude. Great
Yeah,
job.
that song just like really, gets me every time.
That's a great job, dude. Great job.
Thank you.
Wow. Hey, Jory. Give you chills over there, man.
Yeah, you're
I saw you smiling, bro.
incredible, man.
Thank you,
Yeah.
brother.
That was really great. Thank
Thanks,
you for
man.
doing that.
Dude, thank you. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me, man.
Those are going to be straight up clips, like top to bottom songs. We're just going to put out. We're going to put it out unless we get pulled.
Awesome. Yeah.
Unless they tell us to take them down.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm really proud of you. I want to make sure that we touched on everything that you want to touch on today.
Yeah, man. I feel like you talked quite a bit, but yeah, you've touched everything, and I really appreciate it, and I love what you do, man.
Thank you.
It's inspiring because, you know, a lot of people, like, everyone has their own journey, but not everyone gets to tell their story.
No.
You know, even myself, like, I'm not someone, I don't talk about myself. You know, like I don't really. So I don't get to really tell my story.
Well, you're
a lot.
welcome back
So
anytime.
it's pretty cool to
Yeah.
get to, you know, to tell my story and to hopefully inspire people that do want to, you know, go for it, because it does help a lot with courage when you see other people. Like I got inspired by so many people growing up that I you know, every time I doubt myself, I'm like, man, but all my heroes have been through this.
Exactly.
And probably worse.
Exactly.
You know?
I say that you can find a mentor on the cover of Rolling Stone,
Yeah.
or when you open it up, or where you are. It doesn't. Not even social media. Just the people around you giving you encouragement
Yeah.
in the things in the life that you are trying to go after, and people
Right.
saying, "Hey, man, you can do that,"
Mm-hmm.
because it's so you hear you can't so often. And
Yeah.
it's you can't most of the time comes from somebody who stopped doing it themselves.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, I couldn't do it, so you can't.
Yeah.
But, man, it's this, me being in the position I'm in, I don't know that I was supposed to be here. It was one of those things. It wasn't my plan, but it just kept choosing me. And
Yeah.
next thing you know, the place that I'm most comfortable is standing in front of thousands of people and sharing my stories, just like you did.
Yeah.
That was inspiring to me. Makes me want to go home and write and practice.
Yeah.
And it made me
Yeah.
think, dude, if I write something where there's I want two guys on it singing, I'm calling you, bro.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
for real, you
anytime.
live here in this town.
Anytime, yeah,
like
man.
let's go. And if you ever want to sit down and write, I'm there for it too.
Let's do it,
For
man.
real.
Let's
I'm not
do
even
it.
kidding. I'm not. It's
Yeah.
what I do all the time.
Yeah.
It's stuff I do. I'm not used to writing with other people, but I love doing it.
Yeah.
I had to do this like for veterans. And I want to shout out to Ryan Patrick from Otherwise. He put together this thing called Life by Music. He gives guitars. He raises money, gives guitars to high schools, junior high kids, and their music programs, right? They give them to him. Well, he started shoulder to shoulder, and he asked me to come in at the space. We did this at the space, and 18 veterans were there, and he taught them how to play guitar, showing them sheet music, 2 chords, then showing them 2 more chords. So they had these tracks that they were playing to, and he goes, now I want to show you that they can be a song. And he called me and asked me to come teach them how to write. So in front of 18 people, I had to hear their stories, divide up into 2 groups, and write a song with them watching me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't normally do this in front of people.
Dude.
You know, and it was really
That's
cool.
great,
and they're
man.
crying, and I was crying, but you know, it's a gift that we've been given.
There's nothing more satisfying
No.
than getting to give back, man.
Exactly.
Like, really.
Yeah.
And it's cool because in this city, there's a lot of giving back. I meet a lot of people that are just generous, but, you know, shout out to Mark Chinook.
Mark
you know,
Chinook at the space and Monday is Dark.
People
yeah.
like that, you know? 'Cause
Oh, dude.
like, it's so inspiring to see people like that, man, that just put in so much time in giving back and using their talent and their passion, because you know, it's a gift. You haven't been given that for nothing, you know,
Right.
to just waste it. It's like you gotta, yeah, man, you gotta give back, and it's such a good feeling.
He's so charismatic, that guy, and he's the voice of the Golden Knights. If you don't know who we're talking about, Mark Chinook, he was in, I think he was in the show Rock of Ages, right? Rock of Ages, and that's what brought him into. He's Canadian too? Yeah, I was gonna say,
man.
yeah, Canadian too.
I met him like right when I got to the city. I met him. I think maybe Travis Clore, someone invited him to bed, and I met him that way, and then did a couple Mondays Dark and got to know him, and he's just such a great
guy. Yeah,
really inspiring.
Yeah. I mean, when this episode comes out, I'm not sure, but tonight actually is a Mondays Dark, and I forget what the music is of. But anyway, it's just so cool that he does this every 2 weeks, and he finds a way to raise $10,000 for one charity. And then where I met you was the 10-year anniversary, and you were up on stage just killing it. So it's an honor. I can't thank you enough. Travis Cormier is on the show, dude. The name of the song, She Should Be a Song.
Yeah, she's going to be a song.
She's going to be a song.
It's on Spotify, Apple Music, and like I said, I'll be releasing new music this year. So
amazing.
You guys online can check out my socials.
There we go, and we'll make sure that we plug that in here on this episode, that we get those, because we skipped over that. I apologize, trying to get you all squared away with the guitar. We forgot the normal stuff that we do, but that's on us. So again, Travis, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
dude.
you, man.
Man, I love this. I want to shout out to our sponsors again. Jory, thank you again, buddy, for running the show. But JPS Computers right here, or right in Oregon. S&P Inc., thank you so much. Let them rebuild your confidence. True Beauty by Trevor, and West Coast Tattoo Parlor. If you want a tattoo, go call up West Coast Tattoo Parlor. There's 2 locations, and I get hit all the time with, hey, do you know a place I could get a Vegas tattoo while I'm there? Now I just gave you 2 locations. So my name is Brian Hopkins. This is the Hero's Journey podcast. I hope that you were entertained today. If you were, like, subscribe, share. Please go follow on TikTok, Instagram, all the things I'm not good at, but I'm trying to get better at. And thank you so much for watching. I had Travis Cormier on. I'm going to ask him back at some point. You got to come back. And if there's anybody out there that you think should come on the show, bring them, and we'll have a little round table talk, or a long table, whatever, and we'll play songs on the show, and we'll do this again, because, dude, you were amazing. Absolutely amazing. My name's Brian Hopkins, the Hero's Journey podcast. See you guys.
Dream, and I believe it's coming around to me.